Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You are now tuning in to episode 37 of the off 38 of the Off the Menu podcast. I am your friend, your host, Key, here with my brothers, my brother, my co-host, Tay, and a special guest, two very special guests, Jon and Linda Millar, better known as JSM 801, entrepreneurs, power couple, go-getter, going crazy. That one was a little loud. My bad, yo.
I feel like Linda belongs here. She should just stay. If y'all need like another person there, she fits in real well. I mean, she looked like she related for sure.
Oh, hell no.
I'm sure we are in some shape, way, or form.
For reals, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, huh?
Yep.
Welcome, you guys. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course.
Like I said earlier to John, I was like, I'm so stoked to do this.
Yeah.
So thank
For
you again
sure.
for the opportunity.
Of
This is
course.
Thank you guys. We know you guys are busy with your guys' normal lives and all the things you guys do. So thank you. We really do appreciate that you guys would come on here and give us your guys' time.
fun. Yeah, of course. We're excited.
All day.
If we don't make our deadline on the NFL cleats,
This is you send this to them.
he was
My
over
bad.
there doing this. I have a garage full of cleats that need to be painted.
Oh wow. We'll go ahead and
crazy.
get into that after. Let's see.
Yep. As always, before I forget, we got IT technical support in the back. Sifu Ying going crazy.
It's always funny because he always plays this stuff for her, but she can never hear it.
Yeah, she can.
Yeah,
Just
so
the
she just-
headphones on.
Yeah.
Could be a fart noise. Oh, yeah.
But thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 38 of the Off the Menu podcast. Like we said, we have the Millars here. We appreciate them for coming in onto the Off the Menu podcast and taking time out of their day. We know it's late too, so thank you guys once again. So we'll go ahead and get into it. We'll start off you, John, and we'll go move into Linda with the same question.
Okay.
Who are you and what do you do?
Jonathan Millar, I go by JSM 801, and I am a sneaker customizer designer.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
And I'm Linda Millar, and I would say that my official title. What did we name me?
She's
To
the
you.
GM.
The GM? General
GM.
manager?
And not of just my business, but my house,
Yeah.
my life, my
The
kids'
GM
life.
of JSM himself.
Yeah.
She's soccer mom. She's a GM. She's super mom, all into one. Like she literally does everything, so I can just do me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do for sure do all that back end stuff.
And
But
she owns her own business, but
yeah, I do makeup as well, and so that's my creative outlet and passion. So
Good.
with him and I having that outlet together, I think really helps out a whole lot. Bounces off a lot of ideas off each other, even though it's completely different worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. for
Almost
sure.
very similar in a way,
Very
though.
similar,
You're
yeah.
like understanding color palettes and all that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
you, to be able to combine
Undertones.
things, right? Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually
That's crazy.
We kind of did a little deep dive so we can prep the questions for you guys. And
Yeah.
I saw that you did makeup, and I was just thinking last night. I was like, wow, this is kind of unique that you guys would be able to put both your worlds together,
Right.
without knowing that's what was going to happen.
Right. It's
Yeah,
Super crazy.
and I mean, in the beginning when we first met, he was in the industry. He loved sneakers, and that's how we had conversations as friends. Was
Strictly
through
as
sneakers.
friends.
Yeah, strictly as friends. It was just through sneakers and our
okay.
love for it, right? And at that time, I was actually living out in San Francisco, and I was managing a MAC Cosmetics counter out there.
Oh, sick.
So I was slinging makeup up there. Like, that's all it was. And eventually the conversation, just his career path just started to grow and develop. And it kind of meshed. It worked insanely well. And it's been working insanely well.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It's like two different worlds, but it's super similar.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah,
Very
very
similar.
similar. Her canvas just moved.
Yeah.
It blinks and
Yeah.
doesn't sit still sometimes.
It sneezes
And
sometimes.
sneezes and the eyes water and the lashes don't stay on. But
But yeah, we always knew of each other because we grew up kind of in the same neighborhood. Linda was she was a bad beezy. She was the troublemaker. She ran with the
That's
bad
about
crowd.
right.
And I mean, it was normal. I was the same way in my world too. But we always knew of each other. So yeah, our lives crossed paths a lot because of sneakers.
Okay.
And my business kind of, because I was doing stuff before sneakers. I've always been an entrepreneur. I knew I wasn't going to work for nobody.
Right.
I mean, I started working at 15 locally here at Winter Dairy. If
Okay.
you're from
Wow.
West Valley, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I had to do community hours there. That's how I got a job there. I had 60 community hours for Grand Theft
Is that the
Auto,
place
so-
where you can go buy eggs and shit?
Yeah.
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 It's
That's
not
right
there
by the
no more though.
cemetery?
Yeah,
It's
right
closed
there,
now.
yeah.
It's closed. Rest in peace, Winter Dairy. But yeah, I mean, I've always been doing my own thing. I knew I wasn't going to work for somebody. So I was doing a cell phone repair shop and kind of transitioned into sneakers in the back room just for fun. And so she hit me up one day and was like, yo, I'm looking for these sneakers. Where can you get them? You know, where can I buy these? I was like, oh, you don't want them ones. They were mids, by the way.
Hey. Hey.
We all go
Don't
through it.
judge
Trust
me.
me.
Yeah, we all go through it, don't we, guys?
I'll give it to her, though. It was
yeah.
a Valentine's mid.
It was the colorway.
It was the
Oh,
Valentine's
okay.
Day.
It was the
So
colorway.
yeah, they didn't make a high. So
Damn
I'm
it,
sure
babe.
you was in the mids at some point. You didn't know. You didn't know better.
Team Jordan.
Yeah.
Over there.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Whoa,
That's
no,
what
I'm just saying. Like, it's you. She also appreciated shoes before we started dating, and that's how we kind of connected. It was like
Yeah.
her style and stuff, and I kind of was intrigued by how she looked and the shoes she was wearing. She wore Vandals, these white ones with these green.
I love
Nike
that you
check.
remember.
Yeah, she wore a
that's
green
dope.
varsity jacket too on top. So I read this. This is the first time we ever
Had him
met.
from the beginning.
Yeah,
She had
See?
that shit on.
See, guys, like people do look at sneakers first,
yeah.
like nowadays.
Very true.
And now it's a lot different than now. Now it's like I feel like people do it because we kind of have to do it to feel
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
to where back. I mean, I've been collecting sneakers forever. It was just us. We just did that. That was
Right.
normal, but we were the weird kids. It was like almost like kids collecting Pokemon cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Or playing video games, right? You're the weird kid. Like sneaker collectors back then were weird. Like who waits in line for hours for a pair
Right.
of sneakers? Why don't you just go online and buy them?
It wasn't. See, that's what thing. It wasn't as accessible because I remember when I'm from Portland.
Yeah.
And headquarters of Nike. So
You had
we
it.
had boosters. And when my high school, my freshman year, we literally had guys come up and just drive up and just be like, shoes for sale.
Right.
And moving to Utah, it wasn't as easy.
wasn't
And then we
easy
had to
at all.
camp out winter nights. I remember in 2009, like Space Jams.
Yeah.
We camped out at Fashion Place. And I remember the lines used to be so short back in the day that you can go back in and
Yeah,
get
that's how
multiple
it was.
pairs. Yeah.
That's how it was in 2000. I mean, all the way up until about 2011
Yeah.
is when that changed after 2011.
The raffle system.
2011, I remember, because they always come out with a shoe on my birthday or the week of my birthday for this middle of January. 2011 was the white cement, 2011. So like,
Oh.
Going
there was
crazy.
only 2 people in line. So I literally bought every single size 12 and every single size 13.
I think you
just
still have a
walked out.
picture of that on your Instagram.
Yeah,
All
5
the
pairs.
sizes. Yeah.
Every release, 5
Yep.
pairs. It was
Right.
easy. They made me walk out the store and then come back in and grab another pair. And I just left them. I left all my shoes there. I'd buy it and just add it on top, walk back out. Buy
Right.
it.
It was
And
just
then-
that easy back in the day,
Yeah,
too.
there was nobody there. There's 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
I remember walking into Gateway Mall 2006 when they released the Spike Lee 4s. You know, they were just sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, like now, it was so good back then.
Now we're just catching L's on the sneakers app.
For
Oh,
real.
man.
All day.
I don't know how
day.
bad your guys is. I haven't hit in
Bad.
4 years.
Dude,
4
mine's
years.
not that
Anything.
bad.
Yeah, nothing. No,
Damn.
no
Well, you might
early
as well
access, nothing. I got
Delete
shadow
and start
banned.
over, bro. With a
I
different
did.
name.
That's what's crazy. I did. I used I go by Shantae's my illegal name, but then I used Tay from my other account.
Yeah.
I think my IP is just shadow banned because
Maybe.
I couldn't buy on Nike for a whole year.
Yeah, so my IP got
Really?
shadow banned by a few, like Foot Locker. Anytime I try to buy off Foot Locker, it won't. Because I don't want to
I'm
say
not.
that.
I
used to
don't go that
I used to
hard.
bought-
Yeah.
I don't go
bought
that
it a
hard.
few pairs.
See, I'm just trying though. That's all it is. Like I was just trying to buy shoes, but she has 10 phones. And
Yeah, she be going. She be
Damn,
going
10
crazy.
phones?
yeah, she just all the old iPhones.
Yeah.
That's the only iPhone she has. Is that all her friends give her old iPhones for their sneaker accounts? It has their phone numbers and emails attached to it, and she still uses them.
That's legit.
I was like, what is
That's
she
legit.
hiding?
She got a whole
Yeah.
system.
How many
She got a whole
booze you
system.
got?
How many booze you got?
I wake up at 7:55 every Saturday morning, and she's like this, dead asleep still.
It looks
That's,
crazy.
that's
You're
some
the one putting in
dedication.
the work.
It
Yeah,
looks
you put in
crazy.
work.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
And we still take L's.
Yeah, I know. No shit.
You know what though? I don't do that because it's more frustrating when you lose.
Yeah.
Because you're going like extra.
Well, and not only do you get the notification on the app, then you get the back end email
Yeah.
later on
Yeah.
too. You're like, dude, I already know.
It
Just to
reminds me.
remind you.
It's like if
I
you
know.
lost,
Know again.
it's like if you lost a fight and you go home and your mom you got your ass kicked, didn't you?
She's watching your highlight and you're getting your ass kicked.
You know what I mean?
Like, I
yep.
already know.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Nike. We appreciate you.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the questions.
That's funny, man. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it up a little bit because I did have custom in it, but I'm gonna go with how did you get into designing sneakers? And it sounds like you kind of told us about your journey already between like sneaker collecting and things like that. But what made you want to start designing sneakers?
Oh man, I think it was just not wanting to pay $5,000 for PEs.
Oh.
I wanted shoes that nobody else had.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted my shoe to be a little bit different from your pair.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell you that my pair came from somewhere special because back then you didn't have the internet and you couldn't fact check me.
Right.
So if my cash monies had a little bit more green on them, I was a little bit cooler because you didn't know mine didn't come that way. You
Right.
knew I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
these are what the cool guys got. You got the regular pair where the midsole's just white. Mine's green.
That's dope.
You know, and that's just I just wanted to have something a little bit different than everyone else because same story. I didn't come up from money. Came up from
Right.
West Valley.
Mm-hmm.
My dad worked. My mom didn't. When I was young, she ended up getting a job, but we didn't come from money. So shoes wasn't something that I could buy.
Right.
And so getting something that was either hand me down that I could either paint back to look brand new or paint to make it look a little bit cooler. That's where the passion for that came from.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's funny
It's
because
interesting.
it's funny that he says that because my dad used to do this thing. Like also didn't come up with money, so whenever our shoes would get like a little scuff or anything, he just had a black marker.
Yeah.
We always had black and white shoes just to make it easier,
Easy
right?
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember when we first started being able to get shoes when my aunt moved out there. Like I said, we had boosters that would just sell
Yeah.
shoes to us, and then we started getting our shoe collection. That's when my shoe game started gradually growing. I was about 14 years old. I remember I had these weird shoes. I'm pretty sure they weren't real. They were like some clear Air Force Ones with a Tupac insole.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, wait, I bet.
And,
That
Did
was
they
like
really?
three
No.
fake
Yeah.
shoes into
yeah.
one.
And I was sitting there, and I remember one day I was like, man, these ain't even real. I know they're not real. And you don't have no internet. And as a kid,
Yeah.
you're just like, how do you look things up, right?
Right.
And then, the 2010s came around and everything became a little easier looking things up.
Yeah, Mo. Shout out to Mo. That was the case with me because I was an Air Force One collector. Because being in Utah, you couldn't get Air Force Ones. We
Yeah.
didn't get them in our stores here. Foot Action didn't have them. Foot Locker didn't have them. So I had to go to Portland. So anytime my dad would go to Portland for business, whatever he would drive, I would make that trip with him just to see if I could cop a pair of Air Force Ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had 300 pairs of Air Force Ones before I even bought a pair of Jordans.
Wow.
So shout out to my almost brother-in-law. I don't know what we're considered now. He's like a brother to me. His name's Mo Khan. Super good dude, but he's the one that actually got me into Jordans. He's a diehard Jordan fan. And he turned me on to 11s. 11s was my first Jordan love, and it was the playoff 11 from 2001.
Wow.
And he bought that shoe for me. It was fake. Shout out to Wise. Wise, you know who you are. I bought it from his store. He's at the swap meet every Sunday. It was a fake pair, but they were still cool. I wore them, and nobody knew that they were fake. I didn't even know they were fake because I didn't know Jordans back then.
Yeah.
But that's what got me into Jordans was the playoff
Wow.
11.
And Mo. Shout out to Mo.
Shout out to
Shout
Mo.
out to
Khan.
Mo one
That's
time.
fam.
Going
We're here
crazy.
because of
That's
him.
fam.
Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew what it would have came out of that, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Linda, would you say you're pretty involved in helping John with the sneaker business? And if so, how?
You want me to answer this?
Oh yeah, yeah. You I mean,
I'll
you're more
answer.
than welcome to.
I'll
Yes.
answer this because I
Yeah.
know she'll be super humble about this, and she deserves her flowers.
Always.
Thank you.
My business would not be. I'm gonna get a little emotional here because it really means a lot to me how involved she is.
Right.
She allows me to be the creative that I am. She would die doing everything that needs to be done so I can just be me.
Wow.
She wakes the kids up and gets them all ready while I'm still in bed trying to reset, right, for the next day because I work so many hours a day.
Right.
She picks the kids up. She drops them off. She gets them their, she does absolutely everything.
Going crazy. Shout out to
Yeah,
Linda.
superhuman,
Hey,
superhuman.
thank you.
Crazy.
And then
No, there's a lot. There's a lot to it. It's not just about like answering the massive amount of DMs that you guys send. Thank you. and emails.
1,400 a day.
Oh my
1400
gosh.
that's
a day.
crazy.
It's pretty gnarly,
Wow.
and it's consistent. So when somebody catches on that I'm active and DMing, they hurry and DM back because they want to get that answer.
Right.
But no, it's a lot more than just the DMs and then just checking the orders. There is a lot of backside into it. So I appreciate that you do recognize that because it is a lot of work.
She just to kind of put it in perspective. So you guys seen the union lows that I dropped
Yeah.
this last 2 days.
Super crazy.
So
by
they're
the
going
way.
around. Yeah, they're going around right now. And I knew when I thought about doing this, and I knew I was going to do it the way it came out, that it was going to go viral. But just kind of put in perspective what she does. We had over 6,000 inquiries about them shoes in 3 days, counting today. So I think we're probably closer, probably 7,000, 8,000.
Wow.
But 6,000 in the first 2 days, and she has to attend to all that.
Right.
So for her to do what she does, I don't have the brain capacity to handle that.
For real.
So
that's a
yes.
lot. That's a lot of fucking.
So shout
Well,
out to
yeah,
her.
and it's a lot. And like towards the beginning, like even just developing his website, and getting that going, that was the biggest pain in the butt ever. I hate building websites.
Yeah.
But no, just
She's
putting
so
the
good at it,
website
though.
and just making sure that automated emails are working, that supply orders are placed every month if we need supply orders.
Wow.
Cleaning his studio every week.
Because she's so organized and she's proud of it. So
the bane of my
Yeah.
existence.
so I'm like, babe, can we clean the studio this weekend? It's a little dirty. And she's like, yes. Yeah,
it drives me nuts.
Oh, you're literally doing everything but
but the actual
designing.
painting.
Yeah.
But designing the
But
sneakers.
that's my goal. So that's my love language though, is my love language is showcasing what I can help with, right?
Wow.
So whatever I can do to help him take everything off his plate as much as I can, that's my love language. That's how I like to show how I care and how I
Going
love.
crazy.
So if that's all he needs to do is just to paint and I can handle everything else, yeah, hell yeah, it's going to be stressful. Hell yeah, I'm going to need a glass of wine at bedtime. But as long as it makes it easier for him, my kids are fed, they're happy, they're asleep, they're clothed, bathed, I'm golden.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to, every time we go to Vegas, it's the Louis Vuitton store.
Always.
I try to bless her as much as possible because I want
have
to
to.
show her that I see everything she does.
Right.
But she won't spend $1 on it. So I have to force her to get a bag. Here's a Louis bag. Oh, it's nice. I love it, but I don't want it. It's too much. And I'm just like, we'll take this one. And so I have to force it on her. But yeah, she literally does everything for me. I get to wake up every morning, go downstairs, paint. Sometimes, I painted 24 hours straight.
Dang.
And she allows that to happen. She
Right.
picks like I said, she'll pick the kids up from school, take my kids to practice, whatever it may be, she's on it. So my business revolves more around her than it does me.
Good.
I think that's the end of it all too, because if no one gets to see her behind the camera, but she's the one that's getting communication
All
on our
day.
guests. She's the one that's making sure that everyone, this room is clean.
Going crazy.
I feel you on that. Like the women in our lives make everything so much more powerful
All
for
day.
us to be able to be us.
100%.
And I appreciate that you just gave her flowers like that, because
Yeah.
that's just making me realize, because I tell her all the time, thank you, for
Right.
being who you are and doing what you do, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this at all.
Right.
Right.
And it's a thankless job, right? So it's really nice to be recognized, especially being behind the scenes a lot.
Yeah.
It's
just
the
like,
mothers.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, I think it is. Just women do shit better than men. I'm just gonna say
Easily.
You
Easily.
guys just do shit better than
95% of what they can do is so much better than what we're thinking that we can do.
100%.
Right.
Like it would kill my brain to be as organized as she is.
That's
she
my
don't even
love.
let me touch laundry. She's like, you didn't fold it right. I'm like, fine, I'm not doing any of
There
it.
is a way to fold laundry.
Yes. The towels have to be a certain way.
And everyone
all of
has
them.
to be the same
Facing
exact
way.
size.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even the pile of the towels gotta be, when she stacks them, has to comb the same way. It's all gotta be down. So yeah, if you're gonna be, then you do it.
Yeah.
He said,
Exactly.
you do it then.
I'll fold a shirt and she'll be like, you folded it wrong. I'm like, oh man, here we go again.
That's why I just bought nice
Just
hangers.
leave
and I
it.
hang
Yeah.
Just
everything
leave
up.
it.
You can only hang
Got
a
it.
shirt up one way.
Well, and then that leads us for more stress, right? Like as much as we want things as much as we want things nice and orderly, if someone doesn't do it the way that we want it. We're like, oh, we're just causing more chaos for ourselves anyway. let's just do it.
Let me just do it. Then.
Yeah, it's just going to cause more chaos. You know what? Screw it. I'll do it.
That's so funny.
Shout out to Quickly real quick though, because this boba is on point. Like she didn't even know what she was making. I was like, "You make a creme brulee?" She's like,
We just gave her the
It's on point.
Yeah.
Shout out Quickly one
appreciate
time.
you.
You're going
Quickly.
crazy.
We appreciate you. That thing is on point.
It's funny that you said that. Linda's the GM because we call Seafood the CEO.
Yeah.
She's the everything.
Yeah.
everything. I don't even. I think what's my official? Oh, director of operations.
Yeah,
that's
she's
what it is.
director of operations.
Like that's my legal.
Legal.
That's my legal title. It's the director of operations.
Guys, if we made a movie, it would be the red flag because she literally took over my business, and I think she legally owns it. Like her name is on the business account.
Yes.
Like, I think everything's in her name now. So
Yeah.
if I die, you know what happened. She owns it all now because she's like,
What do they call that? They call it a coup? Is that the coup or something?
I think
That's
she's
funny.
It's a black widow. That's okay.
we transferred her my legal ownership of the company over to her because she handles everything so much more better. And then if anything would happen to me, she just takes it and then she knows what she needs to do.
The problem is nothing has to happen to you. She could just leave. Linda can just leave with my business. Like we put ourselves in that position. So
That's so funny.
That's so funny.
we don't have to die for them to take over.
Yeah.
We could take them to court. The judge can be like, "You dumbass, you deserve to have your company taken from you."
That's too funny. I didn't even think
That's
of
so
it that way.
funny.
It's too funny.
Speaking about, this kind of brings me to this to the next question. With already running your own businesses individually, raising the family together, how did the conversation go between the two of you with like integrating all things like passion, business, and family into one?
That's you, boo.
Well, and I honestly don't think that we necessarily had a specific conversation over it. What's interesting between Jon and I, and we've known this from the get-go as friends, we've always had some sort of connection. Like we were on the same wavelength from the beginning.
Always.
And it was very innocent. Like we knew like, oh yeah, we're into sneakers. And it just kind of developed from that. We were into MMA, into cars. So we talk cars all the time too, and fights and whatnot. Baseball. We found out we're both St. Louis Cardinals fans. Shout out to
crazy.
Cardinals.
Wow.
And then we just doing some customs for some Cardinals players.
Yes.
now.
Going crazy.
Yes.
Hey.
That's dope.
So there was just this natural embodiment between us. And so when we started to mesh our lives together, I was heavily into the makeup scene. So, being busy every weekend and all these random different events, being able to do Sundance Film Festival makeup and just having a hectic schedule, and his custom sneakers. In the beginning, it just worked.
Wow.
We just made it work. And then when the kids started to get older and they were more involved, my biggest thing with family is creating memories. You can buy
All
your
day.
kids all the damn toys, all they want, dollar store, whatever it may be. But creating these memories for them when they're little till their current age is a different story for them.
Right.
They're going to be able to explain later on in life, like, hey, my mom and dad took me to this. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, hey, I did that with my mom and dad. That's cool,
Yeah.
right?
That's crazy.
And so we kind of actually embodied our kids into the custom world now.
Yeah.
Illegal labor.
Child labor.
You got a sweatshop?
Let's just call it what it is.
That's kind of what it was, because there was a couple of nights where Jon had some massive 40-pair deadlines that we had to meet, and our son Jaden's 15, and he's
going crazy too.
He's going
though.
ham.
Yeah.
He's
He
gonna be
is-
better than me.
Yeah.
He's
going
growing.
dummy.
He's growing. So he's collectively working with dad right now and developing that skill. Our oldest daughter is into sneakers finally. She was not when she was little.
Right.
She would never wear
She didn't
sneakers.
care for him.
Right.
And now she's super into them. And then our youngest daughter,
Always been into
she's
that.
always been into
Yeah.
sneakers.
She loved
That's
sneakers since
dope.
she was a baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you could tell like she actually loved them. She would look at them and she would, Dad, they're so nice.
Yeah, Papa, I love them.
Especially her
I love
bubble gums.
I love that for you guys, man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
like she said, nights that I had like 40 pairs that need to be boxed up. Like I just got done. I need help putting laces in.
It's sweatshop style
signing
for
the
sure.
yeah,
boxes.
for real.
Literally have my whole family out there boxing up sneakers.
That's
I'm just
dope.
signing boxes and getting them out.
Yeah, like literally Jaden will help, get the shoes packaged. Jade would be lacing certain things up. Olivia would simply slap a sticker on the box, you know?
Got the JSM sticker going crazy.
Yeah. It's like a whole
got a
family
one,
deal.
That's where it came from.
That's dope.
She was
Sorry,
like
that's
5.
baby Olivia, guys.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've kind of brought it as a whole family thing because it's kind of cool that everyone's into it.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for almost 20 years.
Right.
So this is 20 years in the making for me, and to see it kind of unfold to where my kids appreciate what I do.
Right.
My wife appreciates and supports everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have wrote this better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean?
beautiful.
So
It's beautiful to have like family involvement.
Always.
Because I see it too. Because we outside of the podcast, we have our own clothing brands too. And like when I see he has 2 kids, and
we
they
try to get them
do it.
involved as much as
As much as
possible.
can,
Like,
yeah.
Always.
yeah, Baby Nowhere put some stickers in. And the same thing is the same thing what you
Always
guys are
going
doing,
crazy.
and it's just like
Got
it's such
Mikey
a beautiful
folding-
sight
folding
to see though
clothes.
that
Yeah.
you can have family members and especially your own kids and your wife and just be there with you by your side while it just takes everything to the next level. Everything is so worthwhile.
Well, and I will say though, in the beginning, before the custom game for him blew up, like I was really like, boy, you better be getting a job. We got some bills to pay. Like, what the hell is going on? And even with my father too, because at some point, and you know, with Asian parents, like if we're not a doctor or in the medical field,
For reals.
I
like-
love her dad, by the way.
yeah, he's
Let's just
freaking
get that out the way.
phenomenal.
But he did not like me.
No. Well, and it
He
is.
thought I
It's
was lazy.
cultural. Like at the end of
Right.
the day, it's cultural. It's all parents. They want the best for their kids, especially
Always.
I'm a daddy's girl, so he wants the best for me. But in the beginning, I'm like, you know, there was a long while where I'll say I felt like I was the breadwinner at
Yeah.
one point.
Well,
and
she
I was not
Let's
making
just say
shit
it
money.
how
I was
it
making
is.
shit money.
No, she was making good money.
I don't feel like it,
She just
but-
wasn't making like ball and Cali. But
Not
here in
San
Utah, she
Francisco
was
money.
doing good. But yeah, I mean, I've been chasing this dream for, like I said,
Yeah,
almost
it was
20
a-
years.
It was
Right.
a while.
And this happened where, you know, everything blew up. My business was doing great, but I was too young. I was too stubborn. I was too dumb. I was too fault. I had too many issues to handle the situation. So I
Right.
got myself in a lot of bad situations. But it took me this long to kind of figure it out with her help, to where now she can stay home and not do anything. But
Right.
she had to leave her old company. She was HR. And I had to talk her out of leaving that job to just come into working for me.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she gave up her company car, so I bought her a new Cadillac.
Going crazy.
And you know, had to do all that. But then, like, 3rd month, she had everything so organized and
Right.
well running. She's like, I want to go back to work.
Yeah.
She's like, I literally can do this and go back to work. She's like, I don't want to sit home all day.
Right.
So she went back to work. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
but
can
yeah, there
imagine.
was times where I knew, I was like, man, something's got to give. But everyone told me that I need to give this up.
Right.
You know, there's no money in
Yeah.
this. There's no money in this. There's no money in this. I lost an apartment. I lost, you know, I signed a bad deal with one of a really good friend of mine. His dad was an investor. Some bad stuff happened. And it just didn't work out. And I lost my apartment.
Mhm.
So I moved in with one of my cousins, and same story. Just, it wasn't paying the bills, but I wasn't about to give it up.
Right.
It's what I wanted to do. I've been successful before. I was a millionaire at like 23 years old.
Wow.
I was speaking at like all the entrepreneur events in Bountiful and Chamber of Commerce and stuff like that. And I was 22 years old.
That's crazy.
But money's never really. Once I got into this world, when I started fighting and stuff, money wasn't the thing, because I was a professional MMA fighter.
Oh, wow.
So money wasn't it for me. I had the money before. It left. It was gone. I was no one with it, no one without it.
Right.
So I never chased the money. Just if
Right.
it came, it came. But I just knew this. I can't sit here and say I knew this was going to happen. Like, I knew I'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew it's what I wanted to do. If I was going to be happy,
Right.
it was going to be creative. You know. Doing
Yeah,
creative stuff.
I couldn't see him working for somebody. There's no way he would not
Right.
last in a company right
Can't
under
tell me.
somebody.
Can't tell me I got to do
He
something.
can't. He can't.
I think
But-
it's. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, but that was the thing for me. For in the very beginning, I was like, something's got to give. But I knew for a fact that that's what he loved to do.
Right.
Like that was something that it was his passion. And you know what? In the back of my head, I was like, push it. Just keep going. It's working now.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to stick it out a little bit longer,
Right.
you know, and just keep it going. And luckily, I mean, obviously, it's a great thing that we did, because obviously it's
It's been amazing.
It's been so
Yeah.
amazing.
Seems
and
like you guys are-
incredible.
it's
riding
been,
that wave.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
amazing. But
She-
there was really rough times. It just didn't come to us like that.
She's
Right.
just being dramatic. She's Asian and she needs to know that rent's paid like 6 months in advance.
Yes.
Me,
Yes.
all I need is 6 hours. If you tell
Right.
me that my rent's due in 6 hours and I don't have $1 of it, I'm like, shit, I got 6 hours to make that money. I'm gonna play
Right.
games for another hour. I'm good.
Hell
There you
no.
go. There you go.
Nope, that's not how I operate. Nope.
And you know, and she's got a little bit of that. I'm the guy, like, I can pull a magic card out at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
I need to pay a $10,000 bill and I don't have $1 to my name. It'll work out. Like, I don't
Right.
even stress. I'm not even gonna
I feel like I'm the same way.
I'm just like, it'll work
same
itself
way.
out.
No way.
And then I'll be like, the next day, 10 grand. Oh, I have $1 left over.
Uh-huh.
You know
I'm
what I
always
mean?
telling my girl that, like, don't worry, it's all right. Like, we got this.
Yeah.
Like, I got this. Don't trip. We got this.
Yeah, and you guys probably do got it. And John has proven to me time and time again that he's got it. But it does not leave the stress off the table. That
Of
there's
course.
like hours.
I totally
of a
get that,
deadline.
too.
I just don't stress about nothing.
I don't either. I try
don't-
not to.
Even when I was fighting professionally, even before I even got in the cage, like, nothing bothered me. I remember even asking Jeremy Horn. I fought underneath Jeremy Horn. And I remember my first profile, I was like, is it weird not that I'm not nervous? Like, I don't feel anything. Like, and so, yeah, I don't have that built in me. I don't have that
Right.
nervous built in me. I don't stress.
Dude, we got so many
Lucky you.
gems already in this. We got so many
This is
gems in
stuff I
this
never
already.
talked about.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's stuff we never talked
I
about.
want to rewind back a little bit to the family part because I think we have a lot of different viewers. We have a lot of older viewers. We got a lot of young kids watching, but this one's going
Hi,
to be
guys.
more for the older viewers who, because when we grow up, we tend to lose sight of our dreams and we feel like we have to go to work a 9 to 5
Right.
and things like that. It sounds like you guys are like you guys never gave up on the
No.
dream.
No.
You always stayed creating. You guys found a way to integrate it and mesh that. And I feel like, you know, for the ones with kids who still want to do a clothing line, who want to go and do start a different business, like try to integrate the family as much as you can into all of those things, and that shit will work out.
Right.
That shit will always work out.
And that's
So-
the thing. That's the one thing that I've learned is that, I mean, because I'm the person that has always, I need a 9 to 5. I need to have insurance. My kids need insurance.
Right.
I need to have that secure. I know my paycheck's coming Friday, type of moment where John's like, no, I'll figure that shit out. So
Right.
that's a great balance between us
crazy.
because I have to have that on my side.
Yeah.
So with me having that and then him being able to just, do what he loves,
Yeah.
it works out great.
Right.
So, and I think for those that are attempting to move that path and wanting to push forward, don't stop. That's my biggest
Right.
lesson is just do not stop. The times that you are in right now may suck, but that doesn't define who you are.
Yeah.
And
Going
that's the
crazy.
biggest lesson because there's times where I'm like, holy crap, guys, like this isn't for me. This is not it. I can't do it.
Right.
But it's just in that moment of how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I just got good at failing. I was so good at
have to.
failing
You got to.
Right.
that it didn't bother me to fail. It didn't, when something didn't work out or something, it's normal. This is
Right.
normal. I'm throwing
Right.
enough shit at the wall. Eventually something's got to stick,
Right.
So once you get comfortable with failing, there's all the fear is gone. Because if you fail, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's not because you did something wrong. You know what I mean? You just didn't allow yourself to do something right. You prevented yourself from doing something. Oh, I don't think this is going to work out. Or what if people don't like it? Or what if people don't like me? Whatever the case may be, that's you.
Yeah.
Right.
You prevented yourself from being successful. So remove all the stops.
Yeah. For real.
Don't be
Y'all hear that?
don't be
Keep
afraid
going.
to fail.
Just
some
keep
game.
going.
Just fucking keep going all
Just keep
day.
going.
So I tell everyone, just-
I actually want to go
Fuck up
back
and
to the
work.
question too. So you said you fought professionally. What did you fight under?
So I fought under Jeremy Horn. I was an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
So
It's for
I
our local fight show, Ultimate Combat Experience. Shout out.
Going
Hi, AJ.
crazy.
No.
I'm not gonna give my shout out.
Give my shout out to AJ and Johnny Ritchie.
I didn't know them guys. Johnny Ritchie's my
Johnny
guy.
Ritchie. We
I didn't
love
know
you, Johnny
AJ. I
Ritchie.
met AJ through. I met her when I picked up like my videos for my
Yeah.
fights and stuff. But I didn't know her personal level. I don't know what he is today, but I'm not gonna say nothing bad about that. But no, I just had a different experience from a fighter.
Yeah.
Getting tugged different ways. But she was the card girl, and I was the guy
really?
that got my hand raised every time I was in the cage. I never
That's my girl.
never lost a fight.
Really? Going
Um,
crazy.
And so I enjoyed fighting. I thought I was going to go pro. Like that was my goal, was to go pro. I felt that I could have made it into the UFC was like the big deal at the time. Now I'm doing shoes for Dana White.
Yeah, that's
so dope.
That's what's crazy. The full
So
circle.
So dope.
Yeah. So, but no, I knew that I could have made it as a professional fighter. I was built to fight. I loved to fight. I was a guy that loved getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
I was just all about that.
You look like a fighter. You're what, 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'2".
6'2". You're built like a fighter actually, because like
6'2",
most
220.
we have a lot of friends that are like 6'2" and like 6'3". They're more built on like the not athletic side.
Yeah.
Right. So seeing you in person, I was like, oh wow, he looks like he could fight. And then now that you brought that up, I was like, that's kind of crazy because
That is crazy.
and the full circle that you did a shoe for the
I know.
UFC Dana White. You did the
that's
slap
right.
promotion, right?
Yeah,
That's
I've
what
done
it was.
The UFC and the slap. So I've done shoes for both, and then
both.
casual stuff for him.
Wow.
Wow.
Shout out to Kudo, all my Kudo guys. They
Hi,
make that
Ryan.
possible. But yeah, Ryan Lewis is a good friend of ours and amazing dude to be around. Just super thankful for him in my life. But yeah, being able to do stuff for Dana and NBA too. Like I always tell my guys, because we signed a contract this year. Well, yeah, it was this year with the NBA. And I told people I never played a day in high school basketball or college, and I signed a deal with the NBA.
Yeah, that's so dope.
You know what I mean? So yeah, just blessed. Honestly, I love what I do, but yeah, just being able to work with some people that we have has been amazing.
Yeah, no, that
Amazing.
actually bring us to our next question. You've had a lot of opportunities to work with a long list of different clients, A-list celebrities, things like that. Who are your top 3 memorable clients, if you can speak on it?
Man, I mean, number one, Ben Baller.
Going
There we
crazy.
Have to, because Ben's
That's
like
the guy.
the thing was I was just the guy next door until Ben was in my DMs.
Mm-hmm.
I was just a guy doing local sneakers for $50, just messing up everybody's sneakers because back then there was no YouTube videos. So
Right.
if y'all over here talking about my first customs, talking bad, to hell with y'all, because I was a pioneer. Like there was no one on YouTube where I could just go get YouTube certified on how to paint a shoe.
Right.
I didn't even know Angelus existed when I first started painting.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just that guy that painted on sneakers. I mean, no one cared about who I was or what I was doing. And then Ben Baller, I released a shoe that just went super viral. I'm talking like 80 million views in just like 24 hours.
No.
Before
Crazy.
viral was a word.
Yeah. Before viral was even
Yeah.
the thing. And I remember I woke up at like 9 o'clock and my phone was dead by 11 from all the dinging.
Wow.
Like thousands of emails, messages. People
That's
hit me up talking about,
crazy.
oh, Millar made it, this and that, And then I got hit up by like the game. DJ Khaled was in my
Holy
emails.
shit.
Like everyone, the who's who was in my emails. And I just remember Ben Baller being the guy, Nike Talk Days. He was the
Yeah.
guy. He was a real sneaker guy.
He was, yeah. He still is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He definitely still is, yeah.
But back then, DJ Khaled wasn't. DJ
Yeah,
Khaled
yeah,
was
yeah.
calling like True Blues Ocean Blues or some shit back in the day. So I really didn't mess with Khaled because I was super anal about like terms and names on
Right.
shoes back then. If you call them the bread,
You mean still
11s,
too? You still to this day you're
I relaxed a lot. Back then, I'd punch you if you called them like the bread
the
11s.
bread 11s.
Now we got Nike calling them bread 11, so I can't even argue that anymore. So, but no, like when Ben hit me up, he retweeted a shoe. He didn't know who did it, and there was another customizer that basically did the same shoe. And Ben did the whole like date check and all that. And,
Right.
He shouted me. I was like, "Yo, who the fuck did these? I need these like ASAP. I don't care what they cost." And then
Right.
of course, I emailed him back, and he's like, "Yo, I'll fly you out to LA." He's like, "I need 2 pairs. I don't care what they cost." And then he did a little tweet. They sent a tweet out that I'd be doing a meet and greet down at Diamond Supply
Right.
Nike store. Bro, there was hundreds of people waiting.
That's awesome.
It was
bro.
but it was
Crazy.
too. But the crazy thing is, I don't do crowds. Don't do crowds. I don't do a lot of eyes on me. Kind of like our daughter. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
crazy.
I didn't enjoy it.
Right.
I didn't enjoy it at all. I wanted out of it. I was done with that life. Like I was like, man, the fame is not for me.
Yeah.
Just give me the money, like Tupac always said, right? Like that always
Right.
stuck in the back of my head. The hell with the fame. I want the money.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Right.
And so I didn't know how to handle that. And so that was really rough for me going through them and them times. But yeah, Ben Baller's the first one. And of course, I got to give Darren Williams a shout out because that dude is the one that got me in the NBA. He was the first one to give me like the shot to do a shoe for him.
That's dope.
And so shout out everyone that was involved with that. Matt, you know who you are. Jeremy Evans was back there at the time on the Jazz. Same time. Went out to All-Star Weekend with them dudes. But so super big shout out to Darren. The third one really just hits home with me because we didn't have a lot of money growing up. And you guys probably know I've lost all my siblings. So memories of my siblings, we were at home watching the Jazz games on TV. I've never seen the Delta Center. We had no business being downtown. We didn't go for no money. I'd never seen the Delta Center back then. So we watched on K-Jazz.
Right.
As a family, all in the living room watching Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Right.
So when I got an opportunity to do something for Karl Malone.
Wow.
And
that's dope.
What was so meaningful is when he seen the shoe. It was crazy. Like, I had never felt something so genuine in my life.
Wow.
From just a custom sneaker. I remember looking over at Linda, and Linda's eyes were tearing up. Like, she had tears coming down her face because you could just tell that this dude just appreciated.
Right.
Like, I know Carl's been through some shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? The world is crazy, like just stupid, cruel. And I'm not one to fall into any of that. And so I was just ecstatic, just being able to do a shoe for him. But just how he reacted to the shoe, the way that he hugged me, I felt like I was one of his kids.
Wow.
Like it was that hug where he just holds on to you like a bear hug because this dude is just massive. Still just yoked.
Yeah, imagine me next to him.
Yeah.
Like, hi.
But just super appreciative, and you could tell everything was genuine the way he hugged me. And I just remember him giving me like the key fob to the building. Remember? Yep. He grabbed my hand right as I was leaving, and he reached in his pockets and gave me the key fob to get into the Max bar downtown where his cigar studio is. And he just saying, "You're welcome all weekend long. Come as you go." You know.
Wow.
And that was big for me because it took me back. And then, getting invited to the All-Star party where Chuck was there, John Stockton, Reggie Miller, Gary Payton, the who's of who's, right? The guys that I watched.
This is our generation.
Your era of basketball, right?
The guys that I watched.
Our generation. Wait, our generation. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, yeah, so we are older than you.
Yeah, my generation is like Darren Williams and them.
Right.
That's
Right.
So like Kobe got into the league, and then I was like early 2000s, like Iverson, all them.
Gotcha.
So
Which was a great year for basketball too, though.
Yeah.
But I grew up watching these guys. So to be in like a room that was maybe 3 times the size of this room, smoking cigars,
big kicking,
drinking it.
Oh, everyone was drunk, laughing, having a good time.
Going crazy.
Chuck, you seen Chuck's little comment about like how solid.
Boring.
Don't know nightlife.
I had when he announced that he was leaving, I was like, is he good to drive?
Yeah, he was sloshed.
He was soft. He was having a good time. I don't know what he was talking about, but I witnessed him having an amazing time.
He was just really drunk when he tweeted it.
Maybe that's very
in his
possible.
bed, he's like, "No after parties or what?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I need something else to do now."
Yeah,
So
truly.
being able to go to that, and I had a conversation with John Stockton because one thing that happened that was amazing. Back then, I didn't realize it was when my brother was fighting leukemia. And rest in peace to him. He died at 24. He was invited to a Jazz game by John Stockton.
Wow.
And John Stockton and his wife brought my brother down to the floor to take photos after the game, which we experience all the time now. So I know what my brother felt going through that. I had a conversation with John that night. It's been 2 decades. You know what I mean? It's been almost exactly 2 decades since that happened. And for him to remember that, and for him to like give his condolences about my brother, just meant the world to me.
Crazy full circle.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Yeah. And for me to be like, sneakers got me here.
Yeah.
Right.
Even when John was on his flip phone. John Stockton
He still has a flip phone.
Yep.
He has a flip
Every
phone.
time we watch a Jazz game and they shows him, he got a flip phone up.
Oh, yep,
so,
he still has a flip phone.
Yep.
So
Doesn't know how to use it yet.
Them are my top 3. I've worked with
T9.
amazing people. I've worked with so many, and I wish I could tell you all about it, but we'd be here for like a week.
Yeah, for real.
But them ones are just so meaningful because they were
for sure.
they were like the first time something happened. Like so.
Your accolades go very long. Like
for reals.
like I said, we go through a deep dive, and I was just going through your you guys can go see on their Instagram who he's worked with and stuff. So you guys go check it out. Description will be in below with all the information. But when I was going through it, I was like, man, this is crazy that because I remember the Ben Baller Day when that was blowing up.
Yeah.
And then I haven't really I remember maybe COVID, you guys were doing the stuff on IG. That's so we did the secret menu stuff on IG.
Yes.
We were doing raffles.
Yeah.
We
So
were doing raffles.
we were doing that at the same time. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like it's funny how far apart and how close you can be to people, right?
Yep.
For bros.
And the fact is because I wanted to go into a question too is like, who was your favorite Jazz player growing up then?
Oh, that one's tough for me because I've I mean, John Stockton and Karl Malone. That was
The duo.
That was the
It was
combo.
the
right?
duo.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
the
can't
combo.
have one without the other.
Exactly. Okay.
And what was even cooler is like if you watch, like there's a clip of Allen Iverson talking about there's one person in the NBA that you can watch and learn the most from, and it was John Stockton.
Yeah.
I loved how humble he was. I love that he didn't have to be like the guy that had the camera on him all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
He just played because he loved to play. And you could tell. And him down in their short shorts.
Yep.
That's his thing now. John loves it.
I love the short shorts.
He goes after John
so I
Stockton.
appreciate the
Hoochie
John
Daddy
Stockton
shorts.
Hoochie Daddy, yep.
And so John Stockton's always been my favorite guy, but I can't have John without Karl
Malone, yeah.
I would rather not play if I couldn't have them both.
Yeah,
So,
Well, and I think our experience, and this is from me because I seen it firsthand when we delivered the shoes to KJ and Karl, and John didn't see his reaction at that point, but I was standing from afar and John was talking to KJ, and the look on Karl's face, the way he was examining the shoe and the smile, the most genuine smile of what John had created for Karl set me over the edge.
Wow.
Like it was just the most incredible reaction that I've ever seen someone with a custom before. And it literally turned a whole new leaf for me on Karl. He is the most sweetest, humble, like kind person out there.
I am a different person today because of the way that Karl treated me in that like 5 minutes.
Right.
That moment is something I'll never forget, the way that I felt. It's almost like your hair on the back of your neck standing up.
Like goosebumps in a way, right?
Yeah, like he literally changed my life in that moment.
Wow.
Like it was amazing.
It was incredible.
That is
Shout outs
crazy.
Karl,
That
man. Shout out
Yeah.
Karl.
5 minutes of
Going
someone's
crazy.
time can change how you or your perspective is on life
Right.
and how you like come about things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he just sent me a video last week too.
Oh yeah, of him, his sneakers.
So amazing. He sent me. He's like, "Hey, John," and just to hear him like say my name,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and then him kiss the shoes that I did. You can just tell the dude he's a genuine guy.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone take is about anyone. I don't do the he said, she said crap. But Karl Malone is one of the most special people. Like his presence, he's just a genuinely good dude. Love the guy.
Shout outs Karl Malone, man. For
Shout
real.
out, shout out John
Crazy.
Stockton, Karl Malone. Like when I first moved to Utah and I started getting into basketball, that was the duo, right? No one,
Yeah.
And then we kind of had a similar glimpse. Not to say they were, but Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer, like that was the duo coming up when I was like living out here. So going back and like rewatching old highlight clips and understanding why John Stockton and Karl Malone were so like good together, right? Like they wouldn't have fit any other team.
No.
And then
No.
now you're hearing all the players ever since the Last Dance documentary, like a lot of players like Gary Payton coming out and talking about John Stockton being the hardest to defend because he didn't know how he's so shifty. You didn't know where he was going with the ball or what he was doing. And he would pull it from mid range and just shoot to 15 feet. Like hearing this, and like we live in Utah and people say it's a small lake city, but realistically it's so much more bigger and we have so much history here.
Right.
So much history.
For Rose.
Yeah, Utah's pretty big. Like we might have just got on the map, some would say. I feel like we've been on the map for a long time, but we're a big place on that map.
Yes.
Like,
For sure.
Salt Lake's where it's at. I love Salt Lake, and I've never appreciated that back in the day. I never appreciated. I felt like the people didn't appreciate me, and that could have been me. I was a completely different person. Linda can testify to this. The person I was 15 years ago wouldn't have sat in this chair and done an interview. I hated people. I hated the world. I was a very hateful guy. I think that's what made me such a good fighter. Is I didn't care about people. I didn't care about relationships. If it wasn't money, I didn't want it.
Right.
I had no friends.
But I mean, you've also been through a lot too. It sounds
right. And but the thing is, I was using it as an excuse. I was using
Scapegoats.
everything as an excuse.
Yeah.
Everything was my bad behavior. The people that I'd mess over, I used things that had happened to me as an excuse for them. Things. Oh, this happened to me, so I can do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when I met Linda, I did not want to be that person anymore because I remember, you know, because I've lost all my siblings, so I'm just waiting for my time. Right? I'm next. You know, none of my siblings made it past their 30s, and so I remember asking myself one day, like, man, is anyone even going to come to my funeral? I couldn't name one person besides my parents that would have showed up at my funeral. I was that kind of a guy.
Wow.
No one would have came.
I would have never guessed that, man.
Yeah, and
would've
I
never
didn't want to
guessed
be
that at
that
all.
person anymore. I just wanted to be someone that people would call when they needed somebody to talk to,
Right.
when they needed somebody to get them out of a situation. I'm the guy you call me at 2:00 in the morning. I am so surprised that I'm the person you called, that I'm happy about it. Out of all the people you called to come and rescue, you called me because you thought that I would be the guy that would answer his phone and come and rescue you.
Mm-hmm.
That means the world to me.
Yeah, that feeling is so different.
10 years ago, I wouldn't even picked up my phone for my mom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care who it was. I wouldn't have picked it up. If it wasn't money, I wasn't doing it. And so Linda's completely like, I wanted to be a better person for her. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm super thankful for our relationship for that. Cause I don't believe I'd be here if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Yeah. You know, it's so funny that we're doing the podcast right now. And like, I have so much more similarities to you now just being here for like the last 30, 40 minutes, because 10 years ago when we first started dating, it was the same thing. Yeah. If it wasn't for her saying, I remember one moment she goes, just try being happy. And so I tried being happy for a whole year, didn't fight, didn't argue with people. And because of that moment, I have more moments with more people now. Like, I'm that 2 a.m. guy. I'm that.
Right. Tay is that guy now.
And it's such a good feeling. Like, I could be in California and my friends will call me and be like, hey, what are you doing? And like, I really need to talk. And I'll pull myself to the side and give them my time.
Yep.
That's very true.
And, you know, time is all you can give to people.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you guys have to remember that your time is more valuable when you be able to get to share it with everyone else.
Right.
Yeah. Always.
And that's how I want the people around me to feel. I want them to know that if, you know, they reach out to me, that I'm going to pick up the phone every time, because it's going to be that one time. You always hear that story. I didn't pick up the phone. That was the last time I talked to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Why didn't I pick up that phone?
Mm-hmm.
I never want that to happen to me. I've lost so many people close to me at such a young age. I've had so many what I considered regrets that I would never make the mistakes again. Like with my sister, you know, like when my brother got sick, I had to put space between us because I couldn't see him that way. It was so hard for me at that young of an age to see him go through that I was like, I'll just wait till he's not sick no more and I'll come back.
Wow.
So I would sleep over at my friend's house to get away from my brother, because I remember I could hear him in the next room. It was super hard. And my last conversation was, my brother was like, you know, I'm going to the hospital. You can go home and sleep in your own bed. You know, I'm going to the hospital. Wow. It was the last time I talked to him. So when my sister got sick, I was there every day. We was there every morning. We was there every night before we went to bed. We went over there. Mm-hmm. I told Linda, I'm not making the same mistake twice.
Right.
And so,
shout outs to you, man. You know, it's very heartfelt, man. It's super heavy. I feel for you. I feel for you, but it's never too late to make those changes and make those proper things, to take action and do the right thing, right?
Facts.
So shout outs to you, man. It sounds like you've made all the right choices, you know, after
starting
that.
to shout out to
that's all that matters, though, is that you're starting.
It does. It really does.
Right. That's all that matters.
It's not too late. Like, honestly,
it's never too late.
If I wouldn't have met Linda, I would have just chopped it up as I'm an old dog now. Might as well stick to my ways.
Right.
I'm a piece of shit and just stay this way.
I feel you on that.
So, and then my father gave me the best advice. You know, you don't marry the girl that you know that you want to be around. It's marry the girl you cannot live without.
All day.
I can't
Shout
live
out to
without
Pa.
her. So
Pa always has the good limericks and quotes
my
and
dad
jokes.
is the most amazing guy.
Yes.
I'm super blessed because I got Linda's dad in my life, which is super amazing dude. Love the guy. My dad's the same way, but I've just recently, because Linda's mom's just got done with cancer.
Yes.
Wow.
She just beat it.
Going crazy.
You guys,
Congratulations.
we haven't said anything on social media. She wanted to keep it quiet, but I can officially say that she was originally diagnosed with stage 3 angio. I forgot.
T-cell lymphoma.
Lymphoma, essentially immunoblastic lymphoma. This May, and so she battled 6 rounds of chemo.
Wow.
Went through a bone marrow transplant, and as of today, on the dot, she is completely clear of cancer.
Wow. Shout outs mama one time. Hold on. Going crazy.
And I made a deal with God. I told Linda that I would pray for her every single night. Every single night to cure her of this. And I did. I prayed every time I was in the shower, no matter what I was doing. I'd end my night with a prayer, saying that she deserved to live. My babies need to know their grandmother.
Right.
She deserved a second chance at life. So I kind of built a relationship with Linda's mom that I didn't have. She wasn't very the mother that I was used to, right? Because the Asian moms are a little bit harder. They don't drink that, don't eat that.
Don't wear that.
Don't wear that. Don't wear high heels when you're pregnant type of stuff, right? Like all the rules. And she would just give me like of all the list. You need to save money. You need to do I met a whole different version of her mom through this.
Wow.
Having the conversations about, my siblings with her and telling her that you can beat this because she didn't think she could. She didn't have that confidence. I said, you got this. You got this. And so I think where I fell in love with her mom is when I felt she needed me at some of these appointments. I could see that she felt safer with me being there in the room because I felt like my presence, she knew that no one was going to hurt her.
Right.
That was my job. That's always been my job. Even when I was, growing up, my job was to protect her.
Yeah.
And so I felt like she kind of got that sense, and I just fell in love with her mom. I love her mom in a completely different way, and I feel like she tells me that she loves me.
She told him she loved him before she told that to me. Like,
it's so funny because this is almost in a similar way to your guys' story. Is in 2019, my grandma was in the hospital, her dad was in the hospital, and my grandpa was in the hospital from my mom's side.
Wow.
So, and my aunt had told us this one thing, like we went visiting my grandma, and she's like, life comes in threes. You just never know what's going to happen, right? And we lost my grandpa that year, but also being there for her dad and making sure that he made it through it. Her mom needed our energy as much as she needed to be there. And so I feel you on that, like that once again, it goes into the time thing and like being present. And if you can be present for anyone, that just makes the dynamic shift of that just makes everything much better.
1,000%.
It's that action.
1,000%.
And just doing those small things, you can be that light at the end of the tunnel for people, right? So shout outs to all you guys for doing that.
Just please be it though. Like viewers, just like if you guys know anyone in the dark, just be that person for them. Just even a good morning text like, hey, how are you doing? That can save a life.
And you know what's even crazier is when they least expect it from you.
Yes.
It's like that old angry man, right? That lives next door. And then one day he just shows a little bit of compassion. It means so much more because you never thought that you would get that from that type of person. And I think that's kind of what happened with me and her mom. I absolutely adore her mom. So shout out to moms. Cancer free.
Shout outs to moms,
Cancer
man.
free. It's been a rough year.
Yeah.
Rough year.
I'm glad you guys made it through it though. Cause
for sure.
That was, like I said, 2019. Going into COVID was the toughest year because I lost my job, lost grandpa, lost everything. But she held me down. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to make it through all this too. So, and I get it. And her mom actually said she loved me before she said it to her.
What is this?
So, it was out of nowhere too. It was like, it was so funny,
Nah, COVID was amazing for me. I loved COVID.
We did like COVID
I
a lot.
hated what COVID was happening outside the house.
We
Don't
didn't like COVID in that manner.
Don't twist my words. No, I hated what was going on in the world, of course, but I loved what was happening inside my household.
Right.
The family dynamic.
Because I really found that me and Linda really worked. Like I heard of people wanting to get divorces.
Yeah.
Because they were with each other 24/7.
Yeah.
I never want to be out of her sight.
Yeah.
So it worked out perfect. We painted the whole house. We bought all new furniture. We decorated the whole house. And then I found out that I had COVID and we sent all the kids away. So it was like 30 days of just me and her.
Wow.
And, I thought COVID I thought it was going to kill me.
Yeah, it looked like it was gonna wreck you.
I thought I was like 7 minutes away from dying with COVID.
Wow.
It was bad.
Like lungs, couldn't breathe, like on the floor, the pain. Yeah.
Fetal position, thought my liver, my kidneys were shutting down. Wow. It was the most crazy pain. I mean, I fought for a living. I played sports my whole life and I've never been in that kind of pain.
And then I here I come walking through it like it's nothing.
Yeah, and then Linda, she's like, I just can't taste my food.
I made it COVID free, thank God.
Yeah, same here.
So COVID was great because we started doing the raffles.
Yeah.
We and the reason why the raffles kind of started is like a few buddies of mine. There was local shops that they had rent to pay, and they didn't have like websites or big Instagrams to help push their inventory.
Yeah.
So me and
no relief.
we were like, how about we just start doing some live raffles, like to get it. My goal was not really to sell sneakers; it was to build a community where we could all get away from COVID for 1 hour, where we're all online chatting with each other. And we built that community.
Yeah,
we
did it very well.
You
guys did it very well.
We had lives for like sometimes 5-6 hours.
You guys had the whole
She was
setup.
in
You were
all-
like on chats.
Yeah.
She was
Like,
in so many of the lives. It's like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? It's just like that. It was whatnot before whatnot.
Yeah, it was whatnot before
exactly
it was
the
whatnot.
Instagram
Yeah.
lives because I didn't ever go live unless I did the raffle, right?
Yeah.
And so, but you guys were consistently live like every other day.
Yeah. We wanted to just be involved with the community, and I built relationships with people that I call brothers.
Yeah, we've actually made so many family members out of our Instagram friends.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Uzzle was like the very first one. Like Uzzle, because me and Uzzle, same thing. We went through a lot of stuff. You know, he lost his mom. We had a lot of deep conversations. So I felt like Uzzle was a brother to me instantly. And I still talk to these dudes every day.
Shout out to Uzzle one time.
Uzzle's my
Go
good guy.
Puzzle.
Yeah. And
Oozle. We thought it was
Yeah,
Oozle.
I thought it was Uzzle.
Oozle.
And then my boy Tragic.
Yes, Tragic
was another
especially.
great relationship that we started during all this.
That is
But
family.
like I said, COVID, I'm a guy that will always find a positive out of any negative situation. Like we could be falling out of the sky on a plane, and I'll be like, hey, at least the food was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I will find the positive because that's kind of where my life has led me, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to let anything hold me back or ruin what I'm going to. I will find the positive. So like for COVID, it was no different. It was like, how do we turn this negative into a positive situation? So we built a community where they all followed each other.
Yeah.
They all were talking to each other, checking in with each other,
Right.
making sure that everyone was mentally okay.
Right.
And every Friday, I would turn on the camera and say, grab your drinks. What is everyone drinking? What is everyone sipping
Thursday.
on?
It's Thursday day.
Let's get it. Well, then we moved it to Fridays too because
did.
because of the Thursday
football.
night. Yep.
Football.
Thursday night football. So it was, and then I had the whole country sending me Peach Crown. We had like 30 bottles at one point.
That's
We couldn't,
Wow.
we couldn't buy it here in Utah. It wasn't here.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, they knew I love this Peach Crown and everyone's just sending me a bottle. And so we just built this really amazing community.
Well, we met people across the world. We have friends that are in London. We went out to Japan and met a friend that we met in the raffle. He doesn't speak a leak.
Named Yuki. Shout out to Yuki.
Well, Yuki and Ichiro.
And then Ichiro,
Yeah.
actually, he ordered a pair of custom sneakers and we were flying out to Japan. I was like, hey, bro, I want to just bring these out to you. Like, I'm flying out there in like a month. And so we flew the shoes out to him.
And
met
he
him
doesn't speak English.
Wow.
It's just straight Japanese.
We just
and so,
translated it through the app.
And Google Translate saves everything.
So Ichiro was like taking us to Nike.
yeah.
That's dope.
We were shopping. Like,
Yeah, it was So I had a big following in Japan. It was cool because there was a sticker out there, JSM 801 sticker.
Wow.
He sent me the location to. We went and checked it out. Like,
it was
Wow.
crazy.
That's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
crazy.
crashed on a go-kart. Thought I almost
Mario
I almost
go-kart.
got banned.
We almost went to jail.
Almost got flight banned in Canada.
Holy shit.
Lost my clothes for 5 days. That trip was crazy.
It was wild.
Did you guys go this year?
No,
went
it,
2018.
it was COVID right before they
Oh,
announced
okay.
like COVID in the
okay.
U.S.
Yeah,
That's
so,
funny. We went 2019 after my grandpa passed away. We went there December of 2019, and then COVID
We
had
went
hit.
January 2020.
Oh,
So we're just a month from each other.
Crazy.
Dang, we need to link up more because I feel like we've got a lot going
Yeah.
on.
We're going again at the end of December.
You guys going
That's
crazy.
That's where we should
man.
probably go then.
I told her I'd go back to Japan anytime.
Yeah, we
Oh
need to
man,
stay in
this is our
Tokyo.
4th time going. We got engaged there.
Yes, that's a good spot.
We hit every city. Like we was just city hopping. Like
Yeah.
Now we're gonna settle. We'll settle in one town.
now I just want to be in Tokyo for
Yeah.
like 5
Oh,
Yeah.
days.
That's where the place to be.
I felt like I left out so much, but I went to every store, every Supreme store. I went
Bape
to every
store.
every Bape store, which was cool because I'm a 2XL in Bape clothing.
Oh yeah.
And so like we went around and it was right when they were releasing all the city edition city edition shirts,
shirts.
Bape
Yeah, yeah,
shirts.
Right.
And they like, oh, he's a 2X. Just sell it to him. We don't care. It doesn't come out till next week, but no one else is going to buy the 2X, so
Yeah,
let him have
'cause-
them.
They did the same thing because they do the lineups every Tuesday
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
the new drops, right?
Yeah.
And me and her were lining up like every day. Wake up at 6 a.m. and just go sit in front of Bape, and then we saw the same Chinese people, we saw
Yeah.
the same Japanese people every day.
Every line was
And
the
there's
same
no
person.
2XL guys out
Yeah.
there. So
Exactly.
And what was cool is we didn't have to wait in line.
Yeah.
Because it was we were there like on a Friday, right? And it didn't come out till next week. And they were like, oh, just let him have them.
Yeah.
And so I'd buy every single one, 2X, every
That's
store
dope.
we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Japan
Crazy.
was super
that's
dope.
funny. That's too funny.
Love Japan.
The only thing that sucks is that they have nothing in a size 13.
Yep.
That's the only
Oh,
thing.
I bet not. Huh? You
None of
didn't
them.
buy
I didn't
shoes
buy-
out there.
I only bought one pair. It was a size 12. It was the Japan Space Jam Dunks. And it was a size 12 because they only released in
They
Japan.
and they only do up to 12 in most stores
Right. Yep.
because no
They
one
don't,
has a
they
size.
don't
No
get
one
a
has a
size
size
13 from
13.
Nike because they'll just sit on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's so crazy.
Man,
Demographics.
next question.
Dude, we have so many questions. We haven't got through like half of them.
We're going to have to do this once a week.
We saw you on the news for All-Star Weekend.
got
They
that, huh?
mentioned that you were colorblind.
Yeah, that conversation.
Yeah. How did you overcome that? And
I mean, I'm still colorblind, so I didn't.
They didn't overcome the color blindness.
overcome that, but I mean,
I know what you mean.
how is that working for you when you're designing sneakers?
I mean, this is gonna be a dumb answer. Shout out to Angelus for putting the names on the bottles.
There you go.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly where you're trying to get with it. I try to keep it as funny as possible because I'll be honest, there was times where this would, I probably low key was depressed about this whole thing because I remember one time specifically, it was this 2-part story, but we were down in St. George and I happened to be with some older friends. We went down there with family and, I was like, yo, I think and they were cruising the boulevard down there. And I was like 14. They were like 16, 17. And the boulevard is what you cruise during spring break. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yo, that red car. I think that red car's got girls in it. And so they hurry and pull up to it and there's dudes and it's a black car. So that's when like I knew my eyesight first of all was bad.
First of all, and second of all, your friends have bad eyesights too because they can tell either. Jeez.
They said red car, they pulled up to a black one.
So, you know, and there'd be even times where me and Linda would be in the car and I'm like, yo, that Range Rover is dope, that black Range Rover. And she'd be like, babe, it's not black. And it would low key piss me off.
It would. He literally, that conversation to this day, he's like, no, that is not that color. I was like, yes, that's like it was like an army green. It was different.
Black.
See? He's like, and he goes, let's follow it. I was like, babe,
I was going to go pull it over and check the door code.
Like he was so adamant about it. I was like, that is not that color.
So I had to let that go because that's the stuff that really made me mad. It's like when you're holding a $20 bill in your hand and you know it's a 20 and someone's telling you this is a 5. You're like, no, I know what a $20 bill looks like. Right. You know, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you really don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really that frustrating. So I really hated even talking about it. I would have never came out with it publicly if it wasn't for her. Mm-hmm. But I was probably 14, around 13, 14 before I realized the situation. And what it is shades, right?
It's dark shades.
Once a color has so much pigment in it, like, you know, I can see blues up until it gets to a royal blue because then it just looks black. So I can see light colors. So I just didn't want to tell people because, like, let's send this guy my shoes to paint. Who knows it'll be the right color, but, you know, he's really good at painting. He can stay inside the lines, you know? But no, it's honestly, I think it's kind of worked in my favor because like, you know, I can see what makes a color. I can tell if it's made with gray, like blues, a lot of blues, they're made with certain, like,
like he sees the undertone. It's weird because I can't see undertone sometimes.
So color matching is pretty easy for me. There's some colors that are super hard, but for the most part, color matching is great because I can see the colors they made with it. But yeah, I guess it's not really a struggle now. Good. I don't really have any issues with it now.
I had no issues with these. You did these for me. Going crazy.
That's one of the nicknames I got. The Matte King.
The Matte King.
So yeah, I got the Matte King. Man. I think back when I did the red or the Solar Red,
the Solar Red 4. Yeah.
I was in a magazine and they dubbed me the grandfather of tongue branding because I was the first guy to start ripping off tongue tags and replacing them with other tongue tags. And so I got that name, and then the Matte King I think was one of them too because we did the Shattered Backboard 3. Yeah, they were technically not called the 3.0, but you know how the community is. They run with it because it was supposed to be part of the Shattered Board
Shattered Backboard.
Yeah. But they ended up taking out the insole and just kind of like, this is a starfish. Like all the bad feedback, starfish. Right? Because I even did like, I shouldn't even know this, but someone high up at Nike, I did his shoe. I won't mention his name, but because I had to sign something, but yeah.
Was it Phil Knight?
No, it wasn't that high. It wasn't that high.
Not that high.
He deals with the money.
Yeah.
But he's like, he told me, he's like, you single-handedly saved this shoe. Yeah. Like, he's all, this shoe would have been like.
Oh, no, yeah, that shoe, everywhere, we was sitting everywhere, but then I started seeing you pop off with them, removing the mat.
And then I did the mat, and then I did the sole swap on it, and put the white midsole on it. And then I fell in love with it, the glossy, with the sole swap on it. And I was like, oh, this is the shoe right here. For me, this is the one.
Yeah, that vintage sole did not fit well with that shoe.
Well, and I will tell you, that's when my dad first finally saw how lucrative a self-business for Jon was going to be.
Yeah, because I was working like a little 14-year-old Vietnamese kid in Hong Kong trying to make it to America.
He comes over and our little, bless our son, we love you, Jaden. his entire room was covered with all these orders that had come in just for the
1,400 pairs.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I remember in October, I was just like, holy crap. And my dad would see it. And then the setup that he had and how he was working. And then all of a sudden this shift of like, hey, you need to find a 9 to 5. Like, oh, you need just work, do what you do.
Here, we'll watch the kid while you work. You don't have time to do
Yeah, he's
anything
like,
but this.
and that was just like, you don't have time. Like, how do you have time to do any of this? Like, just bring the kids over, you
Her
know?
mom would text, are you hungry?
Yeah.
You need me to bring you
That's
some food?
crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy. It's so
And
crazy.
it switched, like the mentality for her dad switched when he would come to the house and there's just shoes everywhere, orders everywhere. And he brought over his sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, this is what he does. And showing her what I do. And
Explaining it.
I was like, damn, your
You
dad's
must have
kinda
felt
proud of
really
me.
good about
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shift, right?
Yeah.
No, well, and it's a huge accolade
Right.
because coming from my father, it's like, that's a big deal.
That
Right.
was
It's a
probably
big
more
deal.
of one, like something special for me more than working with like Ben or Carl or anything.
Wow.
Dude, was
Yeah.
see the approval from her parents
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to let her dad know that I can take care of his daughter.
Right.
When you're gone, you don't have to worry about who's going to take care of your daughter.
Right.
I will take care of her.
Right.
I will take care of our babies.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like he trusts me with that now.
Off of these, huh?
The office.
Yeah, just off of those. Yep.
Yeah.
One shoe can change everything, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
man.
And I'm telling you, when sneakers is my life, everything.
It's
Right.
revolved around everything.
Sneakers, my whole world is revolved around sneakers.
Right.
And
I love
what's
it.
crazy is even though like the sneakers is like the sun in my solar system,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the most vital piece.
Yeah.
It's not the
Right.
one thing that
Right.
that's just what keeps us all together.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's the relationships. And I always say this, if you
course.
watch any interview I've ever done, it's the relationships. It's like having this conversation with you and being like, oh man, we kind of same situation.
Yeah.
Right.
You're a guy
right.
I probably will talk next week.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the relationships that come from sneakers
Always.
that last so much longer
Mhm.
than just that shoe. Like
Right.
that shoe is going to need a soul swap before we quit talking. You know what I mean? So no, that's why I love
It's
sneakers.
true, man. It's true, man. Well, you know what you do on the front end. You have a lot of passion for designing and customizing sneakers, and it shows in the work. What is it like working with people like Ben Baller, Dana White, Jazz team members? Like, what does it look like on the back end? Are they letting you just kind of take the whole shoe and you're just kind of doing it all for them? Are they giving you just some direction
Yeah,
to follow?
I think now in my career, if I was a tattoo
call the
artist, you
shots.
wouldn't be able to pick your tattoo.
Right.
You would just show up and you're getting a Mickey Mouse tattoo. And you're getting what you get.
Flash tattoos.
And
Flash shoes.
that's why I always say like designer now because I'm designing like and I'll be honest I steal designs from Nike all the time like the Virgil thing like a lot of these customizers want to talk like they're the first one to do this I did this first bro you just stole Virgil's and threw it on every shoe that came out
Right.
you didn't do anything first
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the guy that does the same thing I steal a design
Right.
from Nike but I've also came up with stuff that I designed
That Nike has taken and run with.
I hate that she used the word taken but I get where she's coming from
They take it.
I've done like 12 shoes that Nike has released, like the Red Thunder 4s. I did that shoe in 2012.
Wow.
Like I did
Wow.
the reverse flu game on the Jordan 12. I did that 2012.
Wow.
I've done maybe honestly a handful of shoes, but I'm not the guy on Instagram like Nike, you owe me money.
Right.
I did this first.
Mm-hmm.
Me. Because if it wasn't for Nike, I wouldn't be able to pay the bills.
Right.
They can have anything they want from me. Just leave me alone. I don't need no papers in the mail.
No cease and desist.
You have no cease and
Leave them
desist.
alone.
Yep.
And so working with them this year was amazing. Being reached out and wanting to do a collab with Nike in the NBA was amazing for me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because it was kind of like a pat on the back, right?
Yeah.
Like I kind of made it.
Right.
They don't want to sue me.
Yeah.
So I don't sit here and say they stole my designs.
Right.
I get it. I know they're watching us, but guess what? We're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of chefs out there, one in particular that likes to cry about people stealing his designs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did it with Adidas. He's done it with Nike. Bro, you've stolen Nike's designs without giving them credit, so just shut up.
Right.
Yeah.
Just quit. Just be thankful.
Right.
Nike's made shoes that we get to paint, that we get to transform and make money off of.
Right.
I'm just thankful.
Yeah.
So
Good for you, man. That's so crazy.
How was it when you got your sponsorship by Angelus Direct? Because I know you were using them before, right?
yeah, so I've been rocking with Angelus ever since I was using spray paint.
Yeah.
So we went from spray painting one pair. I knew the spray paint wasn't going to stick, so don't talk shit in the DMs.
Trust me, I've been there. I spray painted my shoes back in the day too. So
I knew it wasn't going to work, but it was on a pair of Orion 7s that were just horrible anyway, but I just wanted to see what it would look like matte black.
Right.
That's where this all started from, right? So once I used that, people were like, yo, these are people that were at my house because I wasn't on Instagram doing anything like that.
yeah.
Yo, these actually look a lot better matte black.
Right.
And I was like, but they're not wearable. So then I just went on this like rabbit hole trying to find paint for leather that was flexible, blah, blah, blah. There was Tandy leather that had some dyes and stuff.
Right.
And then I found Angelus. And once I found Angelus, I was all in. Like I only rocked
It was
with
over
Angelus.
with, huh?
Everything I made, I tagged Angelus, because again, you made a product that changed my life.
Right.
Like I owe Angelus everything. This is why when I was on a billboard in New York, my picture was Angelus jacket on. You know what I mean? Because I owe Tyler and his grandfather Paul and his wife, his grandmother Linda, everything. I owe them. I don't think they'll ever understand or maybe even get the flowers they deserve from us artists, what they do for us.
Right.
My wife drives a Cadillac because of them.
Yeah.
I have a house because of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like our kid has a job
Yeah.
because of them.
Yeah.
Shout outs
Angelus.
to all the Lindas, man. Shout outs to all the Lindas, man.
Yeah, Angelus is, so when they sent me that card, it was like, Linda knew about it before I did. And I probably couldn't even tell you that because she just brought this package down. She's like, you need to open this. So I don't know, like if they DM'd me. I don't know.
Didn't I look at it before? The box was already open.
I have no idea because I remember they sent me a DM. They were like, special package, whatever it was. And then Linda came downstairs and she's like, you need to open this. And I remember opening it and there was a card. And I just remember like, man, it was the most amazing feeling
I bet.
to like being recognized to be, because Mosh, Tragic, some of the greatest artists that were already, that already have a name built were the only ones that were sponsored by Angelus Paint. And for them to see me in that light was like, man,
Yeah.
it was one of them. Damn, Ma, I made it. Like we made it. It
Yeah.
was one of them moments.
Oh,
He's got that card framed in his studio.
Still in my studio because I like to keep in mind where it all started from.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
shout out to Angelus. I
For
love
sure,
everyone at Angelus, everybody at Angelus, the whole squad.
It's got to be such a good feeling. It's like a spotlight moment. It's like all my work that I've ever done, and then finally
Right.
recognized by the people that I would appreciate the most
Right.
in my life, right?
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah. Shout outs to Angelus one time, man. we got time for a few more questions though. But as a married couple with businesses and a family, what's some advice that you guys can give to us and our viewers to make sure that you both keep your individuality through it all, right?
Do we have an individual?
Are you guys?
one?
Are you guys?
I-
Or is it just one? Or
I think that's the case.
yeah.
I
I
think
feel like it.
I think for the most part, 90% of our lives are the same. We're so wrapped around the business. We're so wrapped around the kids and our parents. I don't think we don't do anything without each other. I won't travel without her. Like if any company hits me up,
You're flying both and we out.
yeah, and it better be Delta because I don't fly anyone but Delta.
There we go.
Yes,
Yes.
Delta.
Shout outs Delta one time going
What up,
crazy.
Ed?
So yeah, shout out Ed. Ed was rocking a pair of customs when they
Yes.
changed the Delta Center back to the Delta Center. He was rocking a pair of customs.
No,
So.
I do feel like John and I are so similar in so many ways that we intertwine really well, like I said earlier. So individuality wise, like if it's something as far as like me wanting to go to yoga, because I do love doing yoga, I'll ask him to come to class with me. He will come to class with me.
Yoga.
Yes. I love it.
What do they
I
call
love
it?
it.
Bikram? Bikram yoga?
No, it's not big. We just want to do power yoga. Not
I don't know.
Bikram.
It was hot.
It's warm, but it's
And there
not
was
as hot
a
as
weird
Bikram.
guy making all kinds of noises.
Oh,
No, it was weird. It wasn't even like he was like meditating. He was like, "Ugh." I was like, what is this guy stretching over there? I was like, it's normal. Just let him stretch. I'm like, oh, I'm the bad guy.
yes.
I'm
You
the
said
bad
I'm the
guy.
bad guy.
Yeah, okay.
You should have just made the noises back at him.
Yeah.
Join in.
But yeah, no, there's like different things that we like to do individually. Obviously, like if I want to go to a dance class, I do, yoga class, whatnot. But we are so similar in so many ways, and we have so many things that are in common. that what's great about it is that we just do it together.
Right.
We absolutely do it
That's
together.
dope.
I just love being around my wife.
Yeah.
I'm in love with like when I say I'm in love with my wife, just because I like your naked photos on Instagram don't mean that my wife doesn't come first. All you girls out there. And Instagram, you need to keep them girls off my page. I swear they put them on there for married men to be getting in trouble.
They be setting you up because you
You like one photo and it's gonna come onto your feed.
Not
And it
just
won't
that,
go
they
away.
make you follow them secretly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the new way that Instagram works is so crazy because like last week I was following a bunch of Bollywood accounts. I'm like, I don't even watch Bollywood. What is this? And I was freaking out, and I went in like looked up all the Bollywood stuff on my search, and I was like, all right, let's remove all this. I looked at one video, and
And now it's all
I'm
filled in your
following
algorithm.
10. I'm like, how did I follow?
Oh
them?
yeah, I liked one girl in a bikini photo. Now Instagram feels like I'm a single 19-year-old guy with no kids because that's all there. And I'm like, me and my wife checks all my DMs. My wife is like, she's probably on my Instagram page more than I am.
Yeah,
And I'm like-
that's her liking them. That's why you
No,
see
and
them.
I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, how is he now all of a sudden following like 90 of these
All
beautiful,
I'm saying is
beautiful
I just
freaking
love
women?
my wife. My wife is the most beautiful because it's
Going
not just her
crazy.
looks. She's not even physically like the most beautiful woman that I've ever met, but inside and out, she's the most amazing mother to my kids.
Going crazy.
I did not deserve this woman. So shout out to the creator because he gave her to me.
Yeah, for real. Going crazy.
Shout out to the parents.
So no, I'm.
You saved yourself there, pal. Thank you. I love you.
Yeah, they tried to get me at the sneaker convention too. They said, what did he ask
I
me?
was on stage.
Yeah,
if you could have one, I think like a celebrity to fly with you or something,
What
or go
was
on
my
vacation
celebrity
with.
crush to go on vacation with?
Yeah.
And I was like, not today, Satan. I'm going with my wife.
That's dope, man. That's dope. How do you guys celebrate your wins together? It sounds like you guys do a lot of traveling. It sounds like
Travels
you guys
and a
do
glass of
everything.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Yep. You got
Going crazy. That's it, huh?
glass of whiskey on the rocks, or and that's it. I love to travel. That was my whole thing from
loves
growing
to
up.
travel.
As I love to travel. I love making memories.
Right.
So when we started dating, he wasn't big of a traveler.
Heck no,
He
I'd
would
rather buy a pair of shoes.
rather buy a pair of sneakers, right?
Wasting money.
yeah,
That was me.
yeah. See, he wants the tangible.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, we can always buy the tangible. We cannot make this
No.
memory as we go.
Yeah,
It's not
That's
true. They only release so many.
Damn you, sneakers app. But no, and that's how we like to celebrate our wins, is especially with how busy our schedules are.
Right.
Like, it's an understatement to say how busy we are day in and day out.
Right.
When we have that moment, we're going to travel so we can kind of reset. And so that's how we like to celebrate.
Good.
And if it's something short and quick, a dinner and a glass of whiskey, we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Next advice I'd give to anyone relationship-wise that has kids, do not let your baby sleep in your bed. That is my time with my wife, and I'm not raising no cockwalkers. Because honestly,
Nori, get out my bed, Nori.
We know you're watching on the way.
that is my time
Yeah.
with my wife. That is my reset. She doesn't
Right.
get it. Even her just putting her feet on me while we're in bed. I don't care if she's assed out.
Right.
Just being next to her, watching TV.
Yeah.
Resets my brain, resets
Right.
my body. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm refreshed.
Yeah.
I have to have that interaction with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I'm miserable. So that's advice too. You need alone time with your wife. You need to have grandparents watch the babies for a couple hours.
Right.
Get out the house with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I think that's the key to our success as far as relationships.
100%.
We make time for
Good.
us.
Man, we do this segment on the show called Chef Special where we let our guests get free game. But holy fuck, like, this is like
I think the whole
It's
once
like-
again the whole episode was a chef special.
Just take some
Yeah.
sound bites.
just
Yeah.
full
we'll
of
just
chef
take a-
specials in here, man. That's crazy. Shout outs to you guys for coming on and really giving us some game, between the business and the relationships and just everything all together. I super appreciate it.
No.
My
No,
wife
we-
and I are going to go home and have a really, really good conversation about this.
But Nori, you got to sleep in your own bed tonight,
Yeah.
honey. Like, Mom and Dad need some time.
My daughter comes into my room, it's right back to your bed. You ain't messing up my night.
No, thank you guys so much for having us. This was really incredibly
So
fun.
much fun.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is probably the most that I've
Yeah.
enjoyed this a lot. This
Yeah.
was amazing.
We got to have a
Yeah.
part 2 then, man.
Love it.
We-
I'm
Done.
definitely down.
we got to do a part 2 on this.
100%.
Done.
Shout outs to you guys, man. Off the Menu, episode 38. Going crazy for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Let's go.
Shout out y'all. Shout out to you guys for joining us here on the podcast. We really appreciate it.
No, this
Thank
was
you guys.
amazing.
Thank you.
Actually, hold on. One last question. Sifu, our CEO, had a
Oh,
question.
that's right.
Yeah. She
Look
would
at her.
like,
She's like, we ain't
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah, she's like, wait a minute.
her one question that she really wants to know is how would Off the Menu be able to collaborate with you?
She's right in front of me.
There you go.
Let's link
You
up.
two just have a conversation and we'll make
We'll
it
link
happen.
up.
Yep.
We'll make
let's
it
do
happen.
There we go.
Going crazy.
Done.
Yeah, whatever you guys
Still
want.
deal.
Let's do it.
John,
Beautiful.
Linda, thank you guys again. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, John.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you guys.
Peace out, y'all.